ahead of Carlos Sainz, but Norris won't make it through. But yeah, I wonder if Verstappen could even, if Mercedes can build up more of a buffer now, he's going to be charging to the back of Verstappen later on, and is it going to be possible for Red Bull to maybe think about a 3-stopper and have it so it's Verstappen charging back to the back of Hamilton at the end?
Okay. Blue flag Verstappen.
Jenny?
Just having a look at Sergio Perez. He did 21 laps on those medium tyres. They were used mediums when they were put on, so he did a really good stint on those tyres. He's on the hards now, and just to let you know, Norris, 4.2 seconds in the pit lane. Slow stop for the McLaren.
Yeah, and that means I don't think he would have got Sainz anyway, actually, because Sainz was about 3 seconds up the road when he came out of the pit lane, but still not ideal for the McLaren team. He certainly would have been closer. So basically, is it that Hamilton got, as soon as Hamilton was within undercut range of Red Bull, they pitted him, fundamentally?
Yeah.
And is that a different thing to do on lap 32 of 56 than on lap 10? Because if you go too early on and you pit on lap 7 or something, you're really compromising the whole of the Grand Prix, whereas there's a lot more known factors this far into a race.
Well, they can get to the end of the race, I think, on the hard tyres that they pitted onto. So the Red Bull now, there's a known factor that they can pit, and they think they have the tyre life to go all the way to the checker flag. But at what pace can they hold? That's the question. And Hamilton's still going. If there's a safety car now, Hamilton could be looking great, because he'll have a reduced pit stop loss. The pit stop time for him will be the same, but everyone else will be trundling around behind a safety car, and so effectively it won't cost him as much, and he'll come out right with Verstappen, or maybe even ahead of Verstappen at this stage. So there's a chance for that for Hamilton, and even without a safety car, he's going to have really good tyres to go and attack Verstappen at the end. So yes, they're in a different situation. They know that they can make it to the end, whereas if you've been on lap 7, you think you could be in trouble.
Lewis, you're racing for the win.
Thanks.
So that's Toto Wolff, who fairly rarely, the head of Mercedes Motorsport, fairly rarely comes onto the radio and to encourage Hamilton. He tends to only do it when Hamilton is sort of really struggling, whereas Hamilton knows he's in the race for the win here.
That's a really bizarre radio message from Toto Wolff. Hamilton's just been looking at the leader. Yeah. The leader's pitted. It's not like Hamilton doesn't know that he's racing for the win, surely.
Usually it's when Hamilton's 6th or something like that, coming back through the field, and he maybe doesn't know he's racing for the win, but I think he would have known this time.
But it normally comes when Mercedes get a little bit G'd up by something.
Yeah.
Normally there's a bit of impetus somewhere in the race, and suddenly it opens up and Mercedes think that they can win. And we've had that radio message now. So Toto Wolff getting excited, Hamilton not giving him a lot back on the radio, but they're in contention. And the last time around, he was only 4/10 slower than Max Verstappen on new tyres for Verstappen. Verstappen lost a second to his teammate, so maybe taking it steady, trying to keep the tyres alive, because they've got a long way to go.
I also like the politeness of that radio message reply, Jenny, considering it's the big boss. There's no, none of the abuse that Bono usually gets.
No, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, just listening across to all the radios, it's fascinating. Wolff getting involved there. I think he normally gives Hamilton a bit of a G up when he really needs it.
Yeah, copy that, Lewis. We'll still be target +6, maybe 7, if we can manage it.
What did he say? Did he say, do I still have to pit? I'm not 100% sure, but do carry on, Jenny.
I do apologise, sorry. I think these next 5 laps are going to be crucial. Christian Horner, Red Bull, thinks so as well. This is where it could be won or lost. This is a momentous part of the championship and the race.
Lap 34 of 56. Hamilton leads, has one more pit stop to make. He's 15 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. Takes about 20 seconds to make a pit stop. So if he were to pit now, he'd come out 5 seconds behind Verstappen. Verstappen on that last lap, only 0.6 of a second quicker than Hamilton.
I think Red Bull might have jumped a bit early. Hamilton's still got tyre life, unlike the first time around when he was struggling as soon as Verstappen pitted, and Verstappen was 2 seconds a lap quicker. Now Verstappen's come out, he's not absolutely gunning it on his new tyres, because he knows they've got to go a decent way, but he's only taking 0.6 a lap out of Hamilton. That means Mercedes can extend, and that'll give Lewis much better tyres. Every lap that he does the pit, he's going to have a tyre advantage, or even bigger tyre advantage, to go and attack Verstappen at the end. So that is going to come in the closing stages of this Grand Prix. We're going to have, I think, Lewis Hamilton charging for Max Verstappen.
Kimi Raikkonen and Yuki Tsunoda are having a lovely little fight. They just had to get out of the way of Lewis Hamilton and coming down the back straight. So that will have cost Hamilton a little bit of time in the middle sector. He lost half a second compared to Verstappen. And then Tsunoda and Raikkonen going into the tight left-hander in the final section of the circuit. Tsunoda kept it all together. He's dropped now. Well, he's still ahead of Raikkonen, and that's in 11th place for Tsunoda, so outside of the points, but Vettel and Stroll ahead have only made one stop, so the two Aston Martins in 9th and 10th will need to pit again. Lap 35 and 56 in the United States Grand Prix. Hamilton leads, needs to make another stop. Verstappen is second in the Red Bull, Perez is third, Leclerc is fourth, Bottas fifth, has to make another pit stop. Ricciardo is sixth, seventh is Sainz, eighth is Norris, Vettel and Stroll in 9th and 10th still need to make another stop. Then it's Tsunoda, Raikkonen, Alonso, Giovinazzi and Russell, the top 15. Schumacher, Latifi, Ocon, Mazepin, the 19 drivers still running. Pierre Gasly retired 20 laps ago with a broken rear suspension. Lap 35 of 56, so 22 to run in the United States.
1.3 seconds Hamilton lost to Verstappen on that last lap, but he was lapping traffic, as you say. Stroll, Tsunoda and Raikkonen having a big battle. 10th place, Tsunoda DRSing his way past Lance Stroll on the back straight, and I think Kimi Raikkonen was going with him as well. So Tsunoda back into to the points in the top 10. Valtteri Bottas takes a second pit stop, and he's going to have some decent enough tyres to go and attack Lando Norris for the last 21 laps of this one.
Raikkonen did get ahead of Stroll as well, you're absolutely right. So the Alfa Romeo of Raikkonen into 11th, Stroll down to 12th, Tsunoda up into 10th. Bottas, I think, has come out ahead of Norris. Bottas has come out 2 seconds ahead of Lando Norris after that pit stop. Norris lost about 2 seconds with a slow pit stop, and that crucially has put Bottas up into 7th place. He's now 5 seconds off Carlos Sainz in 6th in the Ferrari, so that is going to be the target, and Sainz is only 2 seconds back from Ricciardo, so there's still a whiff of a 5th for Valtteri Bottas.
He's got to do some overtaking on track. But yeah, he's got Norris a couple of seconds ahead, so that's slow pit stop for Norris, and good pace for Bottas then, staying out longer. He went longer on the first stint and going longer on the second stint, keeping good pace. That combined with a slow pit stop for Norris, 4.2 seconds, and a decent one for Mercedes and Bottas in the twos. He's come out in 7th, so another place gained. Can he go and chase Carlos Sainz and get a top 6? Ricciardo just ahead, as you say, for a top 5, and then there's a big gap to Charles Leclerc, who's having a solid drive in the Ferrari in 4th. Lonely races for him and Sergio Perez in 3rd.
Hamilton leading the way, 13.4 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, and Hamilton is 22 seconds, Jenny, ahead of Sergio Perez in 3rd. Here's Hamilton's radio.
Verstappen predicted a 40.5, and he's 6 seconds inside our window.
And that's Hamilton being told Verstappen is 6 seconds inside our window. If we pit now, Verstappen comes out 6 seconds ahead. As I say, Perez 22 seconds back from Hamilton, Jenny.
Yeah, Perez set the fastest lap. He's also got no drinks container out there, and it's about 30 degrees, so it's going to be a bit of a messy end for him. He's going to be very thirsty by the end of this. And just looking at Hamilton, he's got another hard set of tyres, but he's also got a new set of mediums. Wonder if they've taken a gamble. Could they take a gamble?
My apologies, Perez is 36 seconds back from Hamilton. He's 22 seconds back from Verstappen. And that'll be the question, won't it? And that's why Red Bull need it to... If they're going to pit Verstappen or Perez again, they need Hamilton to kind of pit sooner rather than later, so they kind of know where they are in the grand scheme of things. Because the later Mercedes leave it, the later Red Bull are going to have enough time to put on a new tyre or do something different.
Yeah, that's going away now, the chance for Red Bull to switch to a 3-stopper for Verstappen. 12.5 seconds now he's behind Lewis Hamilton, so if Hamilton pits from the lead, he'll emerge in second. Crucially, he'll still be ahead of Sergio Perez at the moment if he were to pit now, so he wouldn't have to pass 2 Red Bulls, it would just be the 1. And we're going to get a grandstand finish. I think every lap that Hamilton could just eke out of this one, he's going to be quicker at the end.
Come out on put on mediums at the end?
I don't fancy that. The Mercedes are going really well on the hard tyres. I would stick with a hard tyre and just gun it with less issues of degradation towards the end. So I think Mercedes this race is coming back to them on this hard tyre. Remember, they started, both Bottas and Hamilton, on the medium, and they were less competitive. That's why Red Bull managed to get the march in the first place. But outright now, the Mercedes maybe has the edge on this hard tyre.
Just seen George Lucas watching the race, the creator of the Star Wars franchise. Did you meet George Lucas in Monaco?
Yep.
Did you have a nice chat with him?
Yeah, we had a lovely chat.
Did you tell him you'd never seen Star Wars?
Nope, I kept that to myself.
37 of 56, and here come Mercedes into the pit lane then, a new set of hard tyres. Hamilton dives in now. Verstappen's pace is getting pretty quick, actually. He was a second quicker than Hamilton on that last lap. So the fight now is going to be Hamilton emerging on a new set of tyres. How quick is this pit stop going to be? Mercedes, the car goes up on the jacks, down on the jacks. Sweet as a nut, that one. 2.4 seconds for Hamilton. The race for the win is going to be Hamilton on a much newer set of tyres compared to Verstappen, chasing down the championship leader and chasing down the championship lead. Verstappen hits the front, Hamilton comes out in second place, and now the race is on.
Good stop for Mercedes, 2.4 seconds, so Hamilton ahead of Sergio Perez still. 8 seconds the gap, 9 seconds the gap, so he's got some gaining to do.
If Sainz makes an extra pit stop, he'll drop behind Lando and Bottas. He's likely to try and get to the end.
Okay, Roger.
Lance, you're half a second quicker than Giovinazzi. He's going to have some lapping events ahead, so we can get him.
So we're still talking plan A, 39 laps complete, 17 remaining.
I'm also crying inside the car with how feet are burning. It's like they're standing on something very hot. We'll need to investigate.
Yeah, copy that.
So Sebastian Giovinazzi's on his own. He's got 12 lap older tyres, and then further ahead is Tsunoda and Raikkonen, who we're hoping to get. That'll be P9. So that won't be easy, but I reckon we give it a go.
Sure.
Strat 5, position 3, please, Max. Strat 5, position 3, when you can.
I got a bit dirty. He did that on purpose, guys.
Understood. We're reporting.